Hello. I just want to take a second and make sure you guys know when you go into my course and you click on modules, wait for it, there it is, and then we are currently on week some week. I know it's chapter 8. Where are we at? Nope. Here we are. Week 8. Here we are. At the top of this, there is a formula sheet that you can click on. And when you do that, you get this formula sheet. And make sure you have this formula sheet handy when you go to take the test. I hand this out in my in-class, my face-to-face classes, and they are allowed to use it. I don't make people memorize all these formulas. And we are currently going to be on section 8.2. That's the videos that I'm about to make. Actually, it's going to be part of this video, I think. Yeah. So we're going to be covering simple interest, future value formula for simple interest, and the formula for compound interest. All right. So let's get started with that. Here we are. Interest. Okay, interest is the money that one person pays to another to use the lender's money. So you might be the lender or you might be the borrower, one or the other. But the amount of money that you're dealing with is called the principal. And then the interest rate is the percentage that you will either have to pay or you will get. Depends. Are you borrowing the money or are you loaning the money to the bank so that they can go and invest it? So interest, principal, and interest rate. And then this is the formula for simple interest, and it really is very simple. It's just I equals PRT, and get my drawing utensils out here. Here we go. The principal is your dollar amount, all right? That's how much money you're spending. And then your interest rate is R, and in section, that's your percentage. And in section 8.1, we covered how to change a percentage to a decimal. So if they give you something that's like 5%, you have to change it to 0.05 before you plug it into the formula. And then the last part, and this is really important, time is always in years. So if they give you a loan or something that's for 6 months, don't use the number 6. There are 6 months out of 12 months in a year, and that reduces down to 1/2 of a year, which for the sake, since we're going to be using our calculators, that would just be 0.5. 1/2 is 0.5. So just be aware that time has to always be in years. So as an example, $500 deposited into a bank account paying 6% simple interest. How much interest will there be in the deposit? Will the deposit earn in 4 years? And so here is the simple interest formula. And you can see that 500 is the principal, 0.06 is your interest rate, and it's for 4 years. And then you just multiply all that together, and your $500 will earn $120. So when you go back to whatever kind of a bank account you deposited it into, your $500 should still be there, plus an additional $120. Your money will earn more money. Your money is working for you. Okay, now that last problem, let me go back one slide. Since I had earned $120, if I added back the 500 that was already in there, my bank account should say $620. That would be the future value. That's how much money I should have in 4 years. Well, you can work it that way. You can calculate interest, I equals PRT, and then just add it back to the 500, or you can use a new formula, which is the second formula on that handout, which is called the future value formula. And you can see that right here, they're like, okay, take whatever your principal is and add your interest to it. And then that last problem, my principal was the $500, and we added the interest that we earned, and that gave us the $620. That was our future value. But P is the letter that you use to stand for principal, right? And I is the letter that you use for interest. But interest is also the same thing as calculating a PRT. It's the same thing. And then what they do here is they use something called factoring. They took the P plus the PRT and looked at, well, what do they have in common? They both have a P, so they divided the P out. And if you take P and divide by P, anything divided by itself is just 1. Plus, and then if you take the PRT and divide it by P, P over P does cancel, that's a 1, but 1 times R times T is just RT. And that's how they came up with this formula here. A is equal to P times 1 plus RT. Again, it's on your handout that I showed you earlier. And so on that last problem, if I had used this formula and I put 500 times 1 plus, forgive me, I forgot what it was. Interest rate back here was 6% for 4 years, okay? So 1 plus 0.06 times 4, and I plug all that into my calculator, it will actually spit out $620. So give that a shot, see if it works. 500 parentheses 1 plus 0.06 times 4, close the parentheses, hit your enter button, and it should give you that number. And that is simple interest. And what's next? Okay, so there's that formula. Computing the future value using simple interest. And there you go. And I'm still good. I'm still good. So that's the formula. And here's an example. $1,000 is deposited into a bank account paying 3% annual interest for 6 years. Compute the value, future value of this account. So here's your principal, right? They put that right where the P is in the formula. And then you've got 1 plus R. R is your interest rate, and that goes right there, times your time, and time was 6 years, and that goes here. Now, the calculator that we used for this class, if you bought it like you were supposed to, it can do all that math. All I have to type in is 1,000 parenthesis 1 plus 0.03 times 6, close the parentheses, and it should give me this answer right here. They went ahead and did a couple of like order of operations steps. They started with the multiplication, then they did the addition to finish what was in the parentheses, and then they did the multiplication of times the 1,000. So same answer. And then one more example on this. 2,500 is needed in 2 years for a purchase. A bank offers a CD that pays 4% annual interest, computing using simple interest. How much must be put in the CD now? How much to put in the CD right now? That is P. That's what you're looking for. How much do you need to put in right now? The future value is 2,500. The interest rate is 4%. Time is 2. T is 2. So you can see they put it all in there. And then they went ahead and did this calculation and got 1.08. And the future value was 2,500, which is over here. So to solve for P, they just took the 2,500 and divided it by the 1.08. And that's how they got their answer of this amount here, which you should round off to the nearest cent. So $2,314.81. And that is simple interest.